Well, the pigs have been giving us a little bit of a run for our money this year. This is our second year in a row raising hogs, doing rotational grazing, rotational patterns. Typically we move them every 10 days. And this week I was planning to move them on the 8th day because we had a decent rain the day or two before. And anytime they've been on the ground for several days and then they get rain, it makes it pretty muddy. So we were getting ready to move them, but something came up unexpected. It was a good thing, but instead of moving them yesterday morning like I was planning to on day 8, I said, well, we'll move them on day 9. I've got something I got to do. It's important. So we pushed it off. Well, late last night, it's getting ready. Most of us were getting ready to go to bed. It was like 11 o'clock. It was after 11, I think. I walked through the living room and happened to notice something out the window that was moving around. And I looked again. It wasn't the dogs. So it didn't take me very long to realize the hogs were out. So I had to get the kids, wake up my wife, or she wasn't quite asleep yet, but had to get them all up. We had to come out here, and we got them all the way back there to the woods where they typically stay, and they were right next to the pen. But they got stubborn, and they immediately turned around and came right back here to the house. Back here is where they ended up. They ended up down here. This is only 12 hours, not even 12 hours. 8 or 9 hours of them being in this one section, and that's how much damage they did. They rooted this sucker up heavy. The hardest part with this is us getting it smoothed back down. This wasn't quite our yard. This was right on the edge of being our yard and being the hayfield. But I want to get it smoothed down so we don't roll an ankle or something trying to walk through all this later. But fortunately, we had some fencing that we took from some other animals. The hogs were all around here, and we were able to corral them in this section overnight. I finished that up, I think, a little after midnight last night. I was not very happy. I don't handle the pigs getting out very well. I don't like it. If I knew for certain which one was doing it, I would probably put them in the barn separate. I am almost 100% positive, but I can't guarantee it, that it's that Hamp right there. He has been checking the fence constantly, and I don't know why. We move them all the time, so you would think, well, he doesn't need to be on fresh ground. Like, why would he be trying to escape? He's on fresh ground all the time. I mean, we move him constantly. But we've had several situations, and he's the one that's gotten out, where the hole, like, he'll bust a hole through here, meaning he must be hitting the fence so fast and so hard that he's able to break the lines and just bust on through. Well, when he does that, he's tearing up the fence when he does it, and then all the others come out. But I'm almost 100% positive it's the Hamp. And if it happens again, I might try and find a way that we separate him, because I'm pretty certain he's the culprit of why we're having issues with the pigs getting out. The other ones don't really seem to test the fence all that much. But what we've done, let me back it up here a little bit. So, and sheep are down there saying hi. And Duke and Dixie are over there goofing off. But we moved them out of this mess. Keep in mind, that was just overnight. That's how much damage they did to the ground in overnight. We moved them from there. We took we took 4 of our 5 pig fences. They're all 100 footers. what our goal is to get them back in the woods, but I really didn't want to test them just following us with a bucket. Ever since we went to an automatic feeder, they have been less likely to follow us when we have a bucket, and understandably so. They're full, they're not as hungry, so they don't come over wanting all the food following us. Before we did the automatic feeder, if we ever had a pig that we had to get back in the area, if you grab a bucket, it would just follow you everywhere. That's not the case now. So that is a downside of having an automatic feeder, at least from my point of view. So we're going to keep them in this. This is right on the, once again, this is right on the edge of our yard and our hayfield. I don't mind them being here so much. We can see them from the house easier. I don't mind them being here, but I don't want them to tear up the ground the way they did that small paddock we had them in overnight. We don't want the ground that disturbed. And that was really heavy. That's probably even worse than they do back in the woods most of the time. So we'll keep them here just a day or two. My wife and I haven't figured out the exact timeline yet, what all we got going on, but we'll keep them here a day or two. We'll we'll get all the pigs over here. We'll take our extra 5th line that we haven't used and we'll connect it here, keeping them in this spot. And then we'll take some of the fences from the back here and move them up front, and eventually be able to get back here. I think we'll be able to get back to the woods in 1 to 2 more moves. That's where we'd prefer to have them. I really don't want them messing up our hayfield and the side of our yard all that much. And they've already done more than I would like. But we're going to have to do this in sections. So they're going to have to come over. They're going to have to come over. So they're going to have to be moved here. We'll kind of corral them in. We'll add the fences there, go up and back into the woods. Now, I can't wait till they're gone. We had 0 issues last year. Last year with the pigs, we had 1 time where they got out, and it was completely our fault. We had forgotten to secure the fence, and we didn't have it turned on. We corrected that. We didn't have any other issues. This year, we keep having, and I'm pretty sure it's the Hampshire, we keep having one of the hogs that bust a hole through them, and then chaos erupts. So I don't know, trying to figure it out. If and when we do hogs next year, I love having the pork. So it's the pigs normally aren't that bad. They're once we had our systems in place, they're really not that bad. We're just having kind of a string of bad luck. This is the 2nd time in I think about 6 weeks. Second time, I think it's 6 weeks, where I've been ready to go to bed. It's like 11:30, and we look outside and there's hogs out. That wears on you. So I don't know. We'll figure out if we're gonna have the hogs next year or not. I do like having them here, and I do like having the pork. The one thing I'm thinking of doing is, even if we use the netting we're using now, so this pig netting, this wooded section that we have them in is kind of a big square. My thinking is, and I may have enough on hand already, my thinking is to take high tensile wire like I've done with the sheep at the bottom of the hill and box in, just create a boxed in square around that tree, around that section. Okay, let's see, kind of zoom in there, kind of goes down to the bottom of the hill, and then back up here. We kind of go around that IBC tote. Sorry, my finger got in the way. Go around that IBC tote, but put in high tensile wire, the bottom of it, the bottom of the wire. The way our posts are set up is they have a hole, because we use timeless fences or fence post. I love those fence posts. They're great. Fiberglass fence posts. You don't have to worry about an insulator. Really, really nice fence post. And they drive in with a regular T-post driver. But they have pre-drilled holes every 3 inches. So my thinking, I was talking to the boys about it this morning, if we do pigs next year, at minimum, we would take a boundary with high tensile wire that we would space, the bottom few spaces would all be spaced 3 inches apart. Then when we get up, 2 feet high, we wouldn't have to worry about that. We could space it out further. But put a tight spacing at the bottom, make sure it's nice and tight so they hit it. They don't have the ability where it's flexible that they can just kind of bust through it. I think that would alleviate a lot of our concerns, even if we just did that, just created that high tensile barrier, so that even if they did get out of the temporary paddock with the pig fence that we use, they wouldn't be running all over the property. They wouldn't be getting up around the house. I don't know why in the world they didn't go in the greenhouse. The sides are still open. We haven't closed it up for winter yet, and there's still tomatoes and all kinds of goodies in there. I can't believe they didn't go in there and get them all. I really expected the greenhouse to just be destroyed, but we got them. Like I said, I don't handle them being out very well. I feel like I have a lot of patience for a lot of things in life, but animals getting out and cars breaking down, those are two things I just don't handle well. I don't like it. But the animals getting out, especially at night when you're relying on flashlights, it's not the best thing. But we got them contained, crisis averted, and we will slowly get them back into the woods. And then they only have about 3 more weeks here. 3 more weeks, and we haul them off. So they're in the final stretches here, and we're going to have to do some planning for next year, because this year's group have tested us much more than last year's group. So learning along the way, and we'll just make changes appropriately. That way things are easier for us going forward. Thanks for watching. Do all the fun YouTube stuff, like, share, comment, do all that normal stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.